everybody! How are you all doing? I'm doing a little bit better. I had a kind of a rough morning with a headache, but I'm feeling much better as the day wears on. So I thought I'd come on and do a video for all the new people that are starting to Reborn. I thought you might want some tips from someone who's been doing it for a while. So I also wanted to congratulate the winner of my giveaway, and I want to thank everyone for being so kind and congratulating her. And if you stick around, you might just see another giveaway. I'm always looking to bless other people in the community. I've been so blessed that I want to bless other people as well. And I want to be a light in this community instead of the prevalent darkness that we're seeing in this world and in this country. So I want to be helpful, and so I thought I would share some of the hardest portions about creating a reborn doll. And while there are a lot of difficult things about making a reborn doll, and you need to make a lot of them in order to get better, each one gets better. You learn each time you do a new one and how to make it better and how to experiment more with color. But there are things that are still difficult for people that have been reborning for many, many years, such as myself. So I wanted to tell you all the things that I find are difficult to do with the reborn process. You know, you need to really know what human beings' skin tone looks like. You need to make the skin tone look like a real human being. You know, that in itself, it takes people with a good sense of color. And we won't even get into the rooting process because that in itself is the most tedious, the most time-consuming, and the most difficult part of reborning. Not only are there different vinyls, some of them are hard and some of them are soft, but there's so many different kinds of mohair. Some of them go in the head real easily and some don't. There are so many different kinds of rooting tools and rooting needles. You know, some put a lot of hair in with one poke, and some put only one in with a poke. And yeah, there's mohair that's frizzy, mohair that's beautiful and straight and shiny. There's beautiful wavy mohair that you can make straight or curly. And yeah, the rooting process we won't get into in this particular video, but I wanted to kind of go close and show you each one of these reborns to kind of demonstrate some of the things I'm talking about. So let me pause you for a minute. So you're looking at Evie. The first thing I wanted to talk about were eyebrows. And as you can see, Evie's eyebrows look pretty good in my opinion. Eyebrows on a baby should not be too arched. Then they have a tendency to look like a woman who has the old-fashioned Maybelline eyebrows, if you know what I mean. So baby's eyebrows are relatively straight across, and they have a very little curve. They should not look like they're drawn on. The hairs should look like they're different lengths of hair. There's a certain direction that the hairs should be growing, and the hairs should not be too long. They should be different lengths. They shouldn't be too dark or too light so that you can't see them. They should be variated as far as length and color goes. So I'm hoping that you can really get a good look at Evie's eyebrows. and they should relatively match. You know, they should be even. And one thing I notice on some eyebrows, on some Reborns, is that they come in too close or too far out, and they look fake. So the next person here, this is little Sharon, and the unique thing about this kit, which is Huxley by Andrea Arcello, that's Evie by Laura Lee Eagles, by the way. But this is Huxley, and Huxley had sculpted eyebrows. I might have to pause you and get a new battery. My battery's flashing, but let me get through little Sharon's eyebrows. So I just simply followed the sculpted lines that were already there, and she's my look-alike baby, so she has blonde eyebrows. And I hope this is focusing, guys. I really do. So there's little Sharon's eyebrows. And Ella, this is Paris by Adrie Stoete. Ella, she didn't have eyebrows at all when I got her. I've had her for 11 years. So I just used a very light Prisma pencil to make it look like she kind of has eyebrows. But they're very, very faint. So let me pause you so that I can get into the next item and put a new battery in. So, okay, got a new battery. So I wanted to say the reason I did not paint Ella's eyebrows is Ella has rooted hair, and I did not want to use paint and have to bake her. And I did not want to use air dry on her because she has a very, very, very thick coat of matte varnish on her face. And I just didn't feel that the air dry would adhere very well, so I used the Prismacolor pencils because I was a little bit tentative about giving Ella eyebrows on this thick matte varnish on her face, which I'm grateful for now, believe me, I am. So yeah, and little Sharon's eyebrows are done with Genesis paints. And same with Evie. Genesis paints, and then they were just varnished over and baked. So the next thing that I find difficult next to eyebrows are the before let me go back to the eyebrows. The placement should be right at or right under the brow bone. And some dolls, if you rub your finger, you'll feel the bone. And some dolls, I can feel it on all three of my dolls. Some dolls don't have a brow bone, and you have to guess where the eyebrows should be placed. But if they have a brow bone, put them right on the brow bone or directly underneath it, but not so much underneath it that it looks like the baby has no eyelid. And little Sharon's are sculpted, like I said, and I would have given them a little bit lower position because she kind of looks like she's kind of going, But this was what Andrea Arcello envisioned her eyebrows to be like. So, okay. So, yeah, I didn't want to forget that because that's important. And with all these three babies here, you can see the difference in the skin tones. I really think so. Anyway, the next part that could be difficult is the eyelashes. So I wanted to start out by showing you a perfect example of applied eyelashes. This was my first Reborn. She's 11 years old and her eyelashes are still very perfect. The glue has not gotten looking like glue. They haven't pulled away. They haven't fallen down. They're very, very sparse, lightly colored, very expertly applied eyelashes. And then little Sharon, she's a doll that I apply the eyelashes to. And I have to say that This eye here will not do what I want it to, so I just gave up and left it that way. But I like it when the eyelashes, applied eyelashes, curl over the eyelid so that you can see them, like that eye. But this eye, they don't want to stay that way. They want to go down. And I've tried like at least 3 different ones, and they all do the same thing. So I don't know. That one gave me a hard time. And usually one of the eyelashes is going to give you a problem like that with applied eyelashes. And you want to make sure that you use a glue that can easily be removed once you're done with the eyelashes. I use Gem Tack, and I do not use a lot. I put the Gem Tack, a little bit of a dot on a toothpick, and I just put a little bit in this corner where the white of the eye is so that you don't see it on the color portion. And I put a little dab on the inside portion, and then I put a tiny little dab on the very center. And then after it dries, which it takes quite a while to dry, I will go and get a toothpick and soak it in rubbing alcohol and remove the rest of the glue residue that may be on the eyeball. So you don't want any glue to show. So now I'm going to show you Evie. I have to scoot over. Evie has rooted eyelashes. And the thing, let's see if I missed anything about applied eyelashes first. They should curl up and not down. Yeah, and the gluing should be done right. So rooted eyelashes, I'm getting a shadow here. Let's see if I can not get in the shadow. It's going to be difficult. So they rooted eyelashes should be done with a very thin gauge needle, like a 42 gauge needle. I like to use a little bit darker hair than the hair if the doll has hair. She happens to be bald. But I used a light brown. They should be, rooted eyelashes should be equal distance apart, if that makes sense. They don't want to look like there's clumps here and then sparse there, and you want to make them look as equal distance apart as you can. And you want to do them different lengths. I like to make them shorter here and longer in the center and shorter in the inner corners, because I think that's more natural. And you don't want to do them too thick or it'll look like the baby has fake eyelashes on. I know that's a thing now with women. But you don't want your baby to have eyelashes that look like she's wearing fake eyelashes. You want them to be noticeable, natural, and not too thick and not too long, not too short, and not all the same length. So that's for the eyelashes. And then the next part that I find to be a difficult part of the reborn process is the very last step. And the very last step is the matte varnish. Now you have spent days, maybe weeks, in painting your reborn. And the last thing you want is to ruin it with the very last step. I have never done that, thank God. I have never done that. So the thing about matte varnish is I like to mix my matte varnish with Genesis thinning medium, because the matte varnish is the consistency of wax, and it's hard. It's very hard to apply it. So if you mix it with Genesis thinning medium, and I realize both of those products are getting harder and harder to find, And I do hope that you guys are able to find them. But Little Sharon and Evie both have a really nice texture. I like that because it will keep the paint from chipping, and it will keep the paint from getting shiny. I mean, I have touched and rubbed Little Sharon and Evie so many times, and they still have not gotten shiny. You can notice that not even the hands on either of them are shiny. So the trick with matte varnish is you have to apply it in such a way that it's even, and you have to work in really small sections at a time. Like I will start with the fingers. I don't like to put matte varnish on the nails. Start with the hands, and then go into the inner hand and inspect it. Make sure that there's no streaks, there's no white flakes, that it looks even. You have to work in really good lighting. Inspect in natural daylight. Work with really good lighting when you're doing the matte varnish. And like I said, work in small sections. The next part I would just do this much all the way around, and I would look at it and make sure that it's even and not streaky, not flaky, and that I didn't miss any parts, because if you miss a part, you're going to have to go over it because there'll be a shiny spot where you missed. So let's see. No streaks, no white spots, no flaky spots, no missed spots, and even. Very, very even. Now, generally speaking, let me see if I can get them all three in the same frame. Let me see. Generally speaking, you're going to want your doll to have enough paint so that someone will look at it and not say, oh, it looks like there's hardly any paint on that doll. Boy, they really did a rush job. They didn't put enough paint on the doll. You don't want your doll to look like an unpainted kit. And I've seen plenty of them, really, believe me, I have. But you don't want your doll to look like a clown. You don't want it to look like it's got makeup on, or you don't want it to look unnatural. You want your doll to have a human-looking skin tone, and age-related. Like Evie is a newborn, so she's painted in a very red skin tone. Little Sharon, she's a 0 to 3-month size. Anyway, Evie has a lot of mottling because newborns have a lot of mottling. And Little Sharon, she's got a decent amount of mottling. And she has a very peaches and cream coloring. And she's not quite as red as Evie. And then I did not paint Ella. Ella has a very, very, very bluish purplish undertone to her. She was done by a lady in the UK, and this is how she interpreted a 0 to 3-month-old baby. Ella, unfortunately, does not have a coat of matte varnish on her limbs. So that's one of the projects that I need to do. And her fingertips and her fingers the color is wearing off because of that. And the reason why I haven't undertaken that yet is because the person that filled her limbs also covered the hole with cement. So in order for me to get this on my drying rack, I have to drill a hole, and I don't even know if I can do that in the cement in order to give Ella a matte varnish on her limbs. But her mottling is beautiful. Her mottling is just beautiful. Let me see if I can show you. And she's not really all that shiny, but she has a very rubbery texture. She doesn't feel like skin. So I think that if I finally try and take her apart and maybe get my husband to see if he can drill through the cement, I'll be able to fix her and enjoy her even more. So I hope that this video has been helpful to all the new people that have been letting me know that they're going to start painting. And I wish you all the success in the world. I love answering your questions. Sorry this video has been quite lengthy, but please leave your comment below. Please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. And I love to hear from you guys. It's why I keep my channel going, because I like to help you reborn. All right, so I hope this has been helpful, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.